Start your week with a triple shot of good vibes. This is the Project Joy podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thanks for joining me. Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Can you believe that it is the last Monday, the last day of May already? Where has the time gone? I have no idea, but it's gone. And I'm super thankful and excited to be here with you today. If you are joining me live on Facebook or YouTube, I would love for you to check out the comment section, say good morning, let me know where you're joining from. And of course, let me know something that is bringing you joy today, because I need to know these things. That's the point of this morning, the point of the show. I'm super glad that you're here today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live, a triple shot of good vibes to start your week off right every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Shout out really quickly to all of our viewers over on E360 TV. It's good to see you this morning. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you here. You guys, if I could talk this morning, that would be fantastic. I need some good vibes sent my way to be able to have a conversation, apparently. So listen, it has been a really good week. Though yesterday, I'm having a moment. By the way, we have Pac Fan Chris over on TikTok saying that he's celebrating his 25th wedding anniversary today. How amazing is that? Everybody wish a happy anniversary to Pac Fan Chris right now. Many more years, 25 more fantastic years to come to you, my friend. Appreciate you being here today and sharing that with all of us as well. That's an amazing accomplishment for sure. So we had a moment yesterday, you guys. I have 6 children. Okay. Some of you guys know that. Some of you guys just fell out of your chair. Some of you know that. Some of you just fell out of your chair. Okay. But let me tell you what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I lost a teenager. My oldest turned 20 yesterday, you guys. Can we all just sit in that for a moment? Because I'm still trying to sit in that for a moment. I have a 20-year-old child, you guys, and there's a lot of people that have been like, what? I can't believe you have a 20. I do. It's true. And it's my oldest, and I'm having some kind of feelings about it, to be honest with you. But it's good. We had a great day. And just hung out at the house and had some fun. And there is a TikTok for those of you over on the TikTok platform. There's a TikTok on my timeline that, or on my page, that shows when we opened the confetti. I don't know what came over me yesterday when I went out in the morning to get some groceries and stuff, and I saw this little can of confetti. It said good for birthdays, and it's like a pop thing. It said it's good for birthdays, graduations, parties, and I'm like, okay. I said, I bet my husband will do this. And so we bring all this confetti, and when he turned around to go open his gifts, we had his gifts set out on the fireplace. He turned around, my son turned around to go open his gifts, and my husband had the popper right underneath the thing, and he twisted, and it makes this huge pop. Let me just say how proud I was of my son for not cursing 1,200 words in that moment, but it was a riot. And so I put a little clip of it on my TikTok yesterday, and it was something fun. But my daughter made a cake. A lot of you guys know that my 13-year-old she's a baker in the making, and the cake turned out beautiful. I must post a picture of that as well. But it'll come anyway. I have to say good morning to some of my friends that are here today. We have Madeline Tamer is here this morning. Good morning and happy Monday. Jimmy Deluzio is here this morning. Okay. You know Jimmy? I know Jimmy. Jimmy Deluzio. Good morning, my friend. We have, I don't know what happens, Jimmy. Jimmy, I turn into them. We have had too much conversation about the mafia this morning. What is going on? I turn into the Italian when Jimmy comes in the room. Mandy Atterbury is here this morning. Good morning, Mandy. Mandy, I loved the pictures you sent me. It's awesome, everything you're putting together. Josh Lewis is here this morning. Good morning, Josh. Judith Finneran, my friend Judith, is here this morning. Good morning. It was fun. It's always fun around here because there are 8 of us. You know, we don't have to throw a party. We are a party. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good time. It's a good time. I want to remind you guys. So let me pull up my little stuff on the side here. A couple announcements really quickly this morning. By the way, you can join our Breakthrough Show Network text community for show notifications, insider information, and special offers coming down the line. Text the word breakthrough to 256-685-7092. That's 256-685-7092 in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Though I say that lightly because I've got a friend over in the UK who has a US number somehow. Some you guys overseas may know how to do that. I don't know because I'm in the US. But I know it can be done. Maybe we can offer some kind of master class. I don't know. Dragon B, good morning. Happy Monday. I see you over on TikTok. I wish I had a way to flash my TikTok comments on the screen too. StreamYard, get with the program because that would be awesome. But anyway. So make sure you join our text community. Be sure to do that. Also, you can head over to projectjoypodcast.com and click the join live button to join me live on air for the next segment to share a moment of joy or gratitude. I would love to have you here. Just go to projectjoypodcast.com. You'll see a little join live button right in the middle of the screen, and you can actually come on the screen with me and share a moment of joy or gratitude live. We have Amani here this morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Madeline is here. Thank you for the waves. And Mandy will be right back. It's good to see you guys this morning. I really would like to know some of the things that are bringing you joy today. I had Dory Huff over on TikTok this morning she's typically in Florida, but she has been up north taking care of her aunt. And we had a really good conversation this morning, and something that I want to bring up to you guys that I'm going to do in the next segment. But Dory was thankful for being able to come hang out this morning, and because she hadn't been plugged into TikTok for a while, and it was good to see her face over there. So my text community gives you notifications of when the Breakthrough Show Network, all the shows go live. So the Breakthrough Show, Project Joy Live. We have Rewriting Reality with Shiraz coming up later today. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We have Ask Crystal the third Thursday of the month. We have Throwback Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. And then now you guys are going to get to see Java Delight on Tuesday mornings, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern time, because that is Java Delight is Monday through Friday at that time. But Tuesday is the day that I am on Java Delight. I'm on the panel every single Tuesday. So you're going to get to see that coming up on the Breakthrough Show Network as well. So it's been nice to partner with Brandon Croucher, Gavin Kerr, and the whole Java Delight team. They were both, by the way, on the Breakthrough Show last Friday, so make sure you check that out. The text community, again, Dragon B is 256-685-7092, and you can text the word breakthrough to that. So it's nice to see everybody having a good morning. High vibe. We're here for it. We're here to spend time together. And that is my favorite thing on a Monday morning. We're going to take a quick break, you guys, and then we are going to be back in a few minutes for more of Project Joy Live.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
Thank you for being with us today for another episode of Project Joy Live. It's good to see you this morning. So Jimmy DeLuzio is saying, joy for me today is seeing the potential. I love that. And we are actually going to get into a little bit of that in just a second here, because I have some thoughts about that. Shoshana Chaim, my friend from planttrainers.com. You guys make sure you go check that out. Planttrainers.com. Also, for my TikTok friends over here, Plant Trainers is their TikTok name. Plant Trainers, just one word together. And make sure you guys check them out. Good to see you, my friend. Happy Monday to you. So listen, and don't forget to head over to projectjoypodcast.com and click the join live button, and you can actually join me live on air for this segment. But I do have some things to discuss with you all this morning. Dory saying joy for me is being the essential. Yes. I know that she's up and helping her family, and it's nice to be needed sometimes. You know, it's nice to feel like you are being put to good work. And I know that she appreciates that as well. So speaking of Dory, we were having a little conversation earlier. And by the way, Judith is saying, joy for me today is experiencing miracles. I love that. And that actually also ties into what I was going to talk about. So having a conversation with Dory this morning, and I know that Dory has been through a lot of things. Dory has actually been on Project Joy with me a couple of times, but the one time she told a little bit about her story and everything that she has been through in her life. And sometimes when we are in the midst of the storm, we're going through things, we're having a hard time with, we may be dealing with immense health struggles. We may be dealing with some kind of adversity, and we think to ourselves, what is going on? Why is this happening? I don't understand. And I just want to start by saying that it's completely valid in those moments to have those thoughts. Those are very human emotions, and we are human, right? We're here and we experience those different things. But so we're in the moment, we think about those things and we think, why is this happening? And then when we make it through, we think, why did I have to go through that? And how on earth did I make it to the other side, kind of thing. And as I looked in this morning, and as I was talking to Dory about what she had been through, it's beautiful to see the journey of what she'd gone through, because if she hadn't made it through that, now she wouldn't be able to be the person and the support system that she is for her aunt. So it's, it goes into the question of, do we have to go through the things that are quote unquote less than joyful in order to reach the joy? It goes back to a conversation a little bit that we've had before about what exactly is joy. Because a lot of people see joy as, the happy, giddy, all into the yummy feelings kind of, the positivity portion of it. And it is, yes, but there's joy that can be found in the midst of the hardest times. There's joy that can be found, when you're not well. There's joy that can be found when you lose your job. There's joy that can be found, and maybe not in the exact thing. We talked about this when I talked about the grief experience that I had when my brother passed away, of, it wasn't the joy that I found in that wasn't in Adam dying. That wasn't where the joy was. It was in the other things that came along with it. It was the ability to see him alive before he passed away. It was getting to reconnect with a lot of people. It was the trip itself up there. It was getting to do all of these different things. And so there was joy to be found in that moment. There was joy in him not suffering anymore when he finally, left this earth. And so we can have all of these feelings in the moment when we're going through all of that, going, why is this happening? And we can choose to find the joy there. But sometimes on reflection, we can see the journey that has been taken from one thing or another, or from one thing to another, and just sit back in awe and say, this is why it happened. This is why it happened. And imagine if we took the time or took the opportunity to, every time we experienced adversity in our lives, to say, imagine what this is going to become. Can you just reframe that for just a second? Could you imagine, does it seem far-fetched to you to be diagnosed with something, to lose a job, to lose a family member, to experience something that is a quote unquote struggle? Does it seem far-fetched to you in that moment to say, imagine what's possible after this? Or imagine what's possible because of this. And there's a lot of people that will look into that and say, no, that's not possible. That's not normal. That's not human. That's not what we should do. But could you just, it doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. I think that's where people get tripped up. It doesn't mean that you have to enjoy the adversity that you're going through, but it means that you can see the joy in what's going to happen, because this adversity has created the space for you to do it. What if you lost your job today and said to yourself, this really sucks right now, but imagine where this is going to lead me to. Imagine where I'm going to go. Imagine the amazing, great things that are going to happen because this paved the way for me to do it. Imagine if we just said that. And again, it doesn't mean you have to go, yay, I lost my job, or yay, my best friend died, or it doesn't mean you have to do that. But it means that you can see the possibility that was created for you because of the adversity that you experienced. And there is something really joyful about that. Really joyful. Shoshana is saying joy is going to jump on the kids to get them out of bed. Maybe it's not joyful for them. That's a whole other conversation of if something's joyful for us, is it still joyful for other people? Miss CK Ford is here this morning. Good morning, Miss CK. Good to see you. Jimmy saying that's the most important time to find joy, to lift you up in times of sadness or sorrow. 100%. 100%. As much as we might not like to admit it, ladies and gentlemen, joy is a choice. Joy is a choice. I say this all the time, in times when I've been in the midst of adversity and I've been going through different things, I've had different people say to me, you must feel so sad. You must feel so frustrated. You must feel so angry. And we compartmentalize these things that we're feeling into being this right here in this pretty little package. This is what you must be experiencing right now. We experience a multitude of emotions at the exact same time. Okay. So when we experience something in our lives that is adversity, we don't have to just experience the one thing. We can experience all of the things to go along with that with the one thing. I have to laugh at Miss CK's comment, really. quickly, guru goddess of podcasting. Y'all, I am adding that to my resume. I'm going to put it just like that, guru goddess of podcasting. Thank you, Miss Ford. I appreciate you this morning. But yes, joy is a choice. And when we are in the midst of going through something that is a difficult time, it is our choice whether or not we choose to find the joy. Let me preface this by saying, if you don't want to, that's okay. But it's you choosing to not want to. You can't say the joy wasn't there, because there's always something to find if you want to do the work to see it. And sometimes, we're going to get kicked in the rear end. Hang on. Sometimes we make things more difficult than what they need to be, because we choose not to find the joy. And the joy doesn't always have to be the upside. The joy can be just something else that's going on, but we make things hard on ourselves. Those are the ones that up saying, this must be so hard for you. Well, because you made it hard for yourself. So now we're projecting that onto other people, that, oh, it must be so hard for you. You must be so sad. You must be so angry. How about we flip that of saying you must be into, how are you feeling right now? What are you experiencing right now? Again, when we're in the midst of experiencing these things, it doesn't mean we're going to say, yay, that's so joyful, so excited, right? It doesn't mean that that's a thing. But just think of the possibilities. Going back to what Jimmy said before, joy for me today is seeing the potential. Think about the potential. Think about what is possible. Okay, I just had a vision come into my head of when I was little. So I grew up in New England. I grew up on the shoreline of Connecticut. And it was such a beautiful experience for me, and I miss it. I'm getting teary-eyed under my eyelids right now just thinking about it, because I miss it. Something crazy. But growing up on the shoreline, I used to love to ride my bike to the beach and go, up to the tide pools. Anybody not know what a tide pool is? For those of you that may not have grown up on the ocean or on the water. So when the tide goes out and the rocks are there, there's these little pools that form of water that don't make it out. They get stuck in the little, divots in the rocks and the sand and all of that. And they create these little pools of life they were so much fun to go play in. There would be little crabs in there and shells and sea urchins and all of these different things. I was right next to Mystic, Judith, actually. Judith Finneran was asking, were you near Mystic? Right next door. In fact, my high school was right on the Groton Mystic line. So anyway, the tide pools would come up and I would go and explore, and you would see pieces of sea glass or little pebbles that were rough at one time. You know that these pieces of glass were sharp when they were initially broken off, and they're so smooth and beautiful shapes and beautiful colors. And if you think about that for just a minute, what these rocks and these pieces of glass have had to go through in order to become this beautiful piece of art, if you will, and the tossing and the turning and the pounding into the ground and meeting all of these different life in the ocean and rolling around in the sand and being through storms and winds and different tides and different places in the ocean. And what must these beautiful things have had to go through in order to get to that spot? And so it really makes all of those moments beautiful and joyful on reflection of looking back, of seeing everything that it had been through in order to get to where they are. So that reflection time is really valid as well when it comes to joy, of being, like we were talking about with Dory earlier, of going through what she went through in her life and now she gets to help other people. She's still here. She made it through. And is thriving now, and now can help her aunt the way that she wants to. I think about this often. This exact thought when I'm going through a difficult time, and I am convinced 100% that it's why I'm still here. I will be very candid with you guys, especially those of you who don't really know my story and are new to me. I have had a lifetime of chronic health issues. And in the last couple of years, specifically starting in 2017, I started really struggling with some different things that have come up. I've been to doctor after doctor and specialist after specialist and blood test after blood test, and I've never gotten answers, firm answers as to, like, this is your diagnosis, this is what's going on, minus some very minor things. And at the end of 2019, I remember being very tired with all of it. Because there comes a point when, a lot of people will get negative results back and they'll go, oh, well, great. That's a sigh of relief, that we don't have XYZ when that test results come back. But when you have an entire year, when you have 56 blood tests come back negative, and you're still feeling some kind of way, it is extremely frustrating to be in that space of going, well, am I imagining it? What is going on here? And it is the most frustrating experience. And so at the end of 2019, I was exhausted and I was burnt out from all of this stuff. And I made the decision. Now, there's going to be some of you listening right now that are going to go, Jessica, what on earth? But I made the decision to just stop. The end of 2019, I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. If I feel so led in the moment, I will go see someone. If I feel drawn to someone in a practitioner or a certain practice in the moment, I will go and do that. But I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm tired. And it wasn't about giving up as much as it was about taking control. Because at the same exact time in that moment, I said, I am going to never do anything ever again that doesn't bring me joy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do anything anymore that doesn't bring me joy. And I know that some of you are going, that's not possible, because let me tell you, when I wash my dishes, that doesn't bring me joy. Listen, girl, it doesn't me either. Okay, but I'm going to find the joy in that moment. I'm going to find something to be joyful about right there. If I'm struggling to find it, I'm going to look for it. If I can't find it even then, I'm going to create it. Period. End of story. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. And part of that joy is about leaning into my passion and knowing that I have gotten through if I wasn't meant to do something big, I would have never gotten through all of this laundry list of crap that I had been through. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here if there wasn't something bigger. So when I'm having a bad day, when I'm struggling to find the joy in the moment right now, I remind myself that I've made it through every single thing that I've been through up until this point, and there is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. And I am convinced I'm convinced 100% that that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm not gone. That I made it through everything I've made it through, because I've held on to that deep knowing that there is something that I'm supposed to do. And then choosing to find the joy in everything, no matter how hard it is. Is that going to be the reality for everyone? 100% no. Not everybody's going to want to do the work. Not everybody's going to want to choose to see it. There are some people that need on their journey to take that time to wallow in the very humanness of whatever it is that they're going through in the moment. They're going to need to do that. That's part of their journey. And it frustrates me when we have leaders in the spiritual and personal development spaces that come in and say, well, it's possible for everyone, so everyone should be seeking joy. And no, they shouldn't. Not if that's not what they're drawn to do. Does it hurt us as the leaders to see people that we love not actively seeking the joy, not wanting to change their lives for the better? You're damn right. It's painful. It is painful to watch someone you love just choose something other than joy and happiness and health and wealth and success. And it's painful to watch that. But it may not, it has to only be part of their journey if they choose it. If they want to choose to see it. I want to say good morning to Mr. Jackson here this morning. Good morning, Donnell. It's good to see you, my friend. I have my cup. Y'all, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson had this made for me. And it's so amazing. It's so amazing. And I love it. And it is my morning cup now. So thank you, Mr. Jackson. Jimmy says, choosing our path and moving forward and not lingering on the pain. That too, there's really something to be said for acknowledging it and moving forward. And again, going back to it may not be. It's not up to me if you choose to move forward. It can only be part of your journey if you choose it, if you allow it, if you want it to be, if it's actually, we talk about, being predestination, a lot of different thoughts about whether our lives are orchestrated, planned out, or if we choose it. That's a whole other rabbit hole conversation. However, it has to be part of their journey. So whether it's chosen or predestined, has to be part of their journey. And I think that that's been huge for me, Jimmy, is not lingering on things. Absolutely. Judith says, wow, Jessica, you are a goddess warrior. Thank you. I'm adding all of this to my resume, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. 7, the Daywalker is over on TikTok. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you. If you guys are on TikTok, go follow 7 the Daywalker, SEVIN the Daywalker. He is an amazing singer and performer, and I appreciate him for being here today. I have to share my story, Judith, because I feel like I have to. Because somebody somewhere right now is going, what's the bigger reason for this? And my answer, and again, it has to be up to you to receive this message. My answer is that you have been through everything you've been through in your life for a reason. If there was not a reason, if there was not a purpose for you on this earth, you would not have survived. You would not have survived. If there wasn't a purpose, you would not be here, because otherwise, what would be the point? What would be the point? There's a bigger reason. There is a bigger reason, you guys. It's good. It's good. I want to remind you guys that you can go to projectjoypodcast.com and click the join live button. I'm happy to take you on the screen in the last few minutes and allow you to share a moment of joy or gratitude live on air with me. If you choose to do that, again, projectjoypodcast.com, you'll see a join live button right in the middle, and you can come on the screen and share your joy this morning. For now, We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with the end of Project Joy Live. See y'all in a minute. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I see friends. Okay, it's gonna turn into like one of those shows. I see friends in the I see dead people, but I see alive people in the background. I've got my friend Jimmy Deluzio is here. Good morning.
Whoop, whoop. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Awesome. Good. I can hear you as well.
Good.
Yeah, I really liked what you were talking about this morning. It kind of triggered me, I guess, in a good way. I was like, I'm going to get on and say, because that's a lot of what I'm going through right now. So it's very timely.
Well, I got to bring another friend into this conversation too, because I just saw her popping back in here. Look, Miss Dory is here this morning.
Hi.
Good to see you guys on the other side of the screen. Y'all, I have these alarms going off on my phone. I need to fix them on Mondays. Oh, God. How are you guys this morning? Good to see your faces.
Doing good. Dory, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Good to see you. And the last time you popped on, you were in Florida. So
I was in Florida. Now I am in Jersey with my auntie.
It's good to have you on here and see your face. So I know, Dory, you were talking about Dory's gone, but she was talking, but now she's gone.
Yeah, she
disappeared. We're magical here. You see, just pop in, pop out. I just abracadabra, So Jimmy, you were enjoying what was triggering you about the conversation this morning?
Well, I guess trigger is a word nowadays, I guess. But it was just, it's like, oh boy. No, but it's just like the whole, and this is a lot of what your podcast you kind of speak on awesomely, is that the potential of something. And I've just actually, so I stopped working a job recently to try to focus on and pursue my stuff more, so I could put more focus on what I wanted to do and not focus on what I don't want to do, because just like what you're saying, I'm really trying to choose the joy in spite. Hey, Dory's back there.
Dory's back.
In spite of all the stuff that's going on, like you said, to really try to control where my life is going, I guess, as much as you can. I know you talk about, is it fate? Are we really choosing what we want to do, or do we have to fall in? Do we surrender to the flow, or do we not give up and push it to what we want? So that's always been a conflict in mine. But I always thought, just like what you're saying, you can't be going wrong if you are choosing the happiness and say, this is just something that's not going to be fulfilling to me, whether I'm pushing through it or not. It's just not where it doesn't feel right. So just try to do, give that up and start doing the things that make you feel good. Because that is important in life. I think it is important to feel good, more than you don't feel good, you know?
Right. Right. I mean, I mean, could you imagine, you know, it brings to that question of, you know, do we choose subconsciously some of the adversity that we go through in our lives? And I know that that's a very difficult conversation to have, especially like where you and I are concerned, Dory, with the health challenges that we've dealt with, and we go into why on earth would we have chosen something like that. However, and I don't think we do it consciously. I don't think anybody wakes up and says, well, I'd like to have a heart attack today. Like I don't, right. Nobody does that. But you know, by the way, Seven, we are on the Breakthrough Show on Facebook and YouTube if you want to hear the other side of the conversation. So you know, sometimes I take, for example, last year, okay, how many people before 2020 were going, God, I wish I just had more time for myself. I wish I could stay home with my family.
Not enough time at home, right?
I know. Not enough time at home. I wish that I could just have a little bit of time off work. And listen, I'm not saying that those collective thoughts caused, but it makes you think, like, how often do we ask for something and then we receive it in a way that it's completely outside of what, you know, but we receive it nonetheless. It's like when people say, you know, I want more money. Well, then they lose their job and go, what was that for? Well, maybe something else is coming. Maybe you get a check in the mail somewhere. Maybe, you know, you just don't know sometimes how these things are orchestrated.
Right. And is it the balance between, you know, excuse me, between choosing and then allowing the path? Like for some reason, that song is going through my head, you know, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go, you know, that song. Well, you're just going to your grandmother's house, but you got to go over the river and through the woods to get there, you know?
Right.
So it's like, what do you have to do to get that thing that you've chosen, you know? So that's part of the choice and the allowing of the path to get there, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what those things are kind of merging to me now. It's like, oh, you do get to choose, but you also have to allow the choice to come around in the way that it's closest to you, or the shortest path, or I don't know how to
right.
phrase that, but you know,
it's like going back to what I was saying earlier of imagine if going through these things, again, you don't have to enjoy it per se. You don't have to enjoy the pain or the adversity, but imagine if you just said, God, I can't wait to see what this turns into.
Right. Yeah. Look at the excitement in this.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you, you know, when you are taking care of your aunt, Dory, do you have these moments of, you know, kind of remembering your own journey throughout watching hers?
Oh God, yes. Because she's dealing with dementia. And I have memory issues from the stroke. And I can relate when she gets confused and not understanding something. I can remember that first year after having a stroke, because I had the stroke before the heart attack. And I remember that first year being the same way. I would get very angry very quickly. I wouldn't remember things. I would talk. To me, I would, you know, just out of things that you could understand. And I see this in my aunt, and I feel like me being here has been a huge help for my parents, and I can relate to her, and being able to relate to her, I can help her better. And I think it's been my past, what's happened to me has made me a better caregiver for her, because I can understand what she's going through. You know, she don't understand, but I can understand, and I can explain it to my family who don't quite understand it so well. So, you know, I worked in a dementia unit when I was younger, back in my younger days. I've been a part of this for a long time. So being able to be here and help her, and it's just, it has brought me, you talk about joy, so much joy. And if I didn't have that heart attack, if I didn't have that stroke, I wouldn't be able to be here today. I would be home working, doing, 50, 60 hours a week. But now I've been able to have this time to help her, to help my family. And yet I'm getting so much out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Absolutely. And I'm sure as I was using the example before, that while you were going through that, it must have been like, you don't have a heart attack and go, well, this is really going to help me.
Right.
This is going to help me, or this is going to help someone else. And, but that's part of what I really wanted to focus on today, was just that. Imagine if we did do that. Imagine if we just said, imagine if you quit that job, Jimmy, and we're like, oh, this is going to be good now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you want it to be. I think it's good to make choices through where you want to go instead of where you're trying to run away from. Choose a destination and go, wow, I'm going to pick to go to this. Well, I mean, sometimes you have to get away from things, of course, but it's better, I think, to choose the path that you're going to rather than to I'm just trying to get away from whatever this is. So you're just running, not towards anything. But if you say, well, I want to get away from this, but I want to go there. That's what I want to do. So you pick your destination and you say, all right, well, I'm going to do this to get there. And then you have this forward momentum rather than your mental focus on the past and what was wrong. And I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that again. But what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Yeah. CK said, as we open our hearts, minds, and spirit to simply be in the moment, then focus on that which is good, our capacity to receive is expanded, bringing about more good in our lives and weeding out of that which is not conducive to our purpose and higher and highest good. So being in the moment, being present, I think that's such a huge part of, experiencing joy, and then experiencing also that forward momentum. But it's something that can be a challenge to be in the moment. I think when we're going through adversity, we don't want to be in the moment. We want to get the hell out of there.
True.
Right?
True. Yeah.
I don't want to do this. No.
Right. And sometimes you don't find the joy, and it may take a year before you realize the joy that is in. For myself, that first year was hell, and I didn't want to be in that moment. But now I can look back and I can see all the joy that came from it, the family that was there to help me and take care of me. And, so I can look back now and see all of the joy.
Yeah. Yes.
Dory, were you finding the joy in realizing that how much good you were doing for someone else? I mean, in that moment where you thought, wow, this is actually helping someone else, and you're,
every day,
kind of feel that
every day, every day I feel, every day I wake up and I see my auntie, sitting next to me, because I'm laying on a couch and she sleeps in a recliner. And every day I wake up and I see that she's still there, and I'm able to be here with her. Now, she's not going to be able to be home much longer. She's going to be going into a home, but I'm able to be here and spend this time with her. And it's joy is not even a word. It's pure bliss to be able to have this time.
That's awesome.
I love it. Well, I'm certainly glad that both of you popped in this morning to share a little bit of your perspective on what we've been talking about today. It brings me so much joy to be able to have that conversation.
Always here for you.
Thank you.
Good to see both of you. And I want to give you guys a quick shout out to what's going on this week. So Rewriting Reality with Shiraz is coming up later today at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time. You can find it on our Facebook page and our at facebook.com. So it took me a minute. I'm going, what am I talking about? Oh yeah. Facebook.com/The Breakthrough Show Network. Shiraz is amazing. I highly recommend that you check him out. And then also later on in the week, on Friday, we have an incredible episode of The Breakthrough Show coming up with a TikTok friend of ours. Grammy Award nominated Joel Cross is going to be here to play a new song for us. Y'all, he plays the guitar just it's something magical that happens with Joel Cross. So make sure you check that out. Also on the show will be Hannah Donji. She's literally one of the most driven people I have ever met. She has more degrees than I have children, and that's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So she's going to be on the show on Friday. Dory, thank you for being here. And Jimmy, thank you for popping on this morning.
Well, thank you. It's good. Always good to be here.
Good to see you. All right, guys, we are going to be back next week, same time, same place. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you something really important, you guys. You ready for it? Make joy a priority in your life today and every day. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to the Project Joy podcast with your host, Jessica Dugas. We'll see you again next Monday and every Monday for another episode to start your week off right.